Less than 100 miles from Las Vegas, Nevada is the most famous secret military installation on the planet. Rumors swirl around this base, much like the mysterious aircraft that twist and turn in the skies overhead. Although it's known by many names, most people call it by the Atomic Energy Commission's AEC designation, Area 51. There are several theories about how Area 51 got its name. The most popular is that the facility borders the Nevada Test Site, NTS. The AEC used the NTS as testing grounds for nuclear bombs. The NTS is mapped as a grid of squares that are numbered from 1 to 30, with a few omissions. Area 51, while not part of this grid, borders Area 15. Many say the site got the name Area 51 by transposing the 1 and 5 of its neighbor. Another popular theory is that the number 51 was chosen because it was not likely to be used as part of the NTS system in the future, in case the NTS expanded later on. The first documented use of the name Area 51 comes from a film made by the company Lockheed Martin. There are also declassified documents from the 1960s and 1970s that refer to a facility called Area 51. Today, officials refer to the facility as an operating location near Groom Lake when speaking to the public. All official names for the site appear to be classified. Area 51 is known by many names. Kelly Johnson, who was responsible for the facility's construction, named it Paradise Ranch. He was being sarcastic. Other names for the base include the Ranch, Watertown Strip, the Box, Red Square, the Farm, Groom Lake, Dreamland, and the romantic name Air Force Flight Test Center, Detachment 3. The name alone inspires thoughts of government conspiracies, secret black aircraft and alien technologies. Facts, myths, and legends weave together in such a way that it can become difficult to separate reality from fiction. What exactly goes on in this installation? Why did the government alternatively acknowledge and deny its existence until the 1990s? Why is the airspace over it so restricted that even military aircraft are forbidden from flying through it? And, what does it have to do with Roswell, New Mexico? Each question seems to have a million different answers. Some answers are plausible, while others stretch credulity so far that if someone said it out loud, you might feel the urge to back away from them slowly. In this article, we'll look at the facts as far as anyone outside of the facility can determine them and examine the more popular theories about Area 51. Where is Area 51? You can get a great view of it using Google Earth. Just type Area 51 into the fly-to field and the map does the rest. For decades, the base remained hidden from almost everyone, but in 1988 a Soviet satellite photographed the base. Several publications acquired the photos and published them. The secrecy of the base is still of paramount importance, but as far as satellite coverage is concerned, the cat is out of the bag. A dry lake bed called Groom Lake borders the base. To the west is the NTS. The closest town is Rachel, Nevada, which is 25 miles north of the base. The base itself occupies only a fraction of the more than 90,000 acres it sits on. It consists of a hangar, a guard shack, a few radar antennas, some housing facilities, a mess hall, offices, runways, and shelters. The shelters are scoot and hide buildings, designed so aircraft can quickly move undercover when satellites pass overhead. Some allege that what you can see on the surface is only a tiny part of the actual facility. They believe that the surface buildings rest on top of a labyrinthine underground base. A few claim the underground facility has up to 40 levels and that it is attached via underground railways to other sites in Los Alamos, White Sands, and Los Angeles. Skeptics are quick to point out that such a massive construction project would require an enormous labor force, the removal of tons of earth that would have to go somewhere, and the need for a huge amount of concrete and other construction material. The lack of evidence convinces skeptics that, for the most part, what you see is what you get. Believers, on the other hand, dismiss the skeptic's doubts. So what goes on at this base? According to the Air Force, the facility's purpose is for the testing of technologies and systems training for operations critical to the effectiveness of U.S. military forces and the security of the United States. All specifics regarding the facility and the projects housed there are classified. What is known as the Air Force, the CIA and Lockheed have used the base as a staging ground for test flights of experimental, secret aircraft, also known as black aircraft. The base served as the development and testing facility for cutting-edge aircraft technology from the U-2 spy plane to the F-117A stealth fighter. In the next section, we'll look at the known security measures at Area 51. Area 51 security and secrecy. To say access to the base is limited is an understatement. The base and its activities are highly classified. The remote location helps keep the activities figuratively under the radar, as does the proximity to the NTS. After several land seizures, the base is surrounded by thousands of acres of empty desert landscape. The Air Force has withdrawn lands from public use to help keep the base hidden from snooping eyes. For many years, observers could hike to elevated vantage points like Whiteside's Peak or Freedom Ridge, but the Air Force seized those lands as well. Today, the only way you'll catch a glimpse of the base in person, assuming you aren't working there, is to take the strenuous hike to the top of Takabua Peak, which is 26 miles from the facility. For many years, mapmakers wouldn't include the facility on any maps. It fell within the borders of Nellis Air Force Range, but the road leading to the facility was never shown. Today, the location of the base is general knowledge, but for many years officials went to great lengths to obscure its location. Everyone who works at Area 51, whether military or civilian, must sign an oath agreeing to keep everything a secret. Buildings at the site lack windows, preventing people from seeing anything not related to their own duties at the base. By some reports, different teams would work on similar projects at the same time, but their supervisors would keep each team ignorant of the other team's project. When testing a secret aircraft, officials ordered all uninvolved employees to stay inside until the test flight was over and the aircraft returned to its hangar. Most of us think of classified information in terms of security clearance levels. Countless films and television programs show government employees who can't access the information they need because they don't have the right clearance. While it's true that there are levels of security classification, it's not true that the system is simply a vertical series of security classifications. Even if you have top secret security clearance, you can't necessarily access everything at the top secret level, or even lower levels. This is because information and projects are compartmentalized. In other words, if you are cleared for top secret information in a project on stealth technology, it doesn't necessarily mean you can access information in a project about proton laser beams. Security clearance is issued on a need-to-know basis, and if you don't need to know what the engineers in the laser department are doing to complete your work on stealth technology, you can bet you won't be able to find out about it. Getting to Area 51. Most commuters to Area 51 travel on unmarked Boeing 737s or 727s. Planes depart from the McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas, located right across the street from the Luxor Hotel and Casino. Defense contractor EG&G owns the terminal. Each plane uses the word Janet followed by 3 digits as a call sign to the airport's control tower. The airspace above Area 51 is known as R4808 and is restricted to all commercial and military flights not originating from the base itself, except the Janet commuters, of course. Area 51 is believed to be part of either Edwards Air Force Base in California or the Nellis Air Force Range in Nevada, even though pilots from those bases are forbidden to fly in Area 51's airspace. In fact, pilots who fly into one of the buffer zones surrounding R-4808 reportedly face punishment from their commanders, though it's reported as fairly lenient. Whenever a pilot flies through a buffer zone, the training exercise immediately ends and the pilot is ordered back to base. Knowingly flying into R-4808 is a much more serious offense, and pilots can face a court-martial, dishonorable discharge and time in prison as a result. The military classifies Area 51 as a Military Operating Area, MOA. The borders of Area 51 are not fenced, but are marked with orange poles and warning signs. The signs tell you that photography isn't allowed and that trespassing on the property will result in a fine. The signs also offer this sobering note: security is authorized to use deadly force on people who insist on trespassing. Rumors circulate among conspiracy theorists over how many unfortunate truth seekers have died as a result of tromping around the grounds of Area 51, though most believe that trespassers are dealt with in a much less violent manner. Pairs of men who don't appear to be in the military patrol the perimeter. These guards are likely civilians hired from firms like Wackenhut or EG&G. Observers call them camo, sick, dudes, because they often wear desert camouflage. The camo dudes usually drive around in four-wheel drive vehicles, keeping an eye on anyone near the borders of Area 51. Supposedly, their instructions are to avoid contact with intruders, if possible, and act merely as both an observer and deterrent. If someone seems suspicious, the camo dudes will call in the local sheriff to deal with him. Once in a while, the camo dudes have confronted trespassers, allegedly seizing any film or other recording devices and intimidating the trespassers. Sometimes, helicopters provide additional support. There are rumors that the helicopter pilots occasionally use illegal tactics like hovering very low over trespassers to harass them. Other security measures include sensors planted around the perimeter of the base. These sensors detect movement, and some believe they can even discern the difference between an animal and a human being. Since Area 51 is effectively a wildlife preserve, it was important to create warning devices that could not easily be tripped by a passing animal. One theory held by observers is that the sensors can detect the scent of the passing creature. The sensors detect an ammonia signature. While that has yet to be substantiated, it's certain that there are buried sensors all around Area 51. One Rachel resident named Chuck Clark discovered several of the sensors, and at one point the Air Force accused him of interfering with signal devices and ordered him to either return a missing sensor or pay a fine. Clark reportedly complied. In the next section, we'll look at why all the secrecy and security measures are necessary as we examine some of the aircraft tested at Area 51. Area 51 aircraft. Area 51 owes its very existence to secret aircraft projects. The original purpose for Area 51 was a testing facility for Lockheed's U-2 spy plane. Lockheed put Kelly Johnson in charge of establishing a base of operations for testing and training facilities. Here are some of the known and suspected projects at Area 51. The U-2 spy plane is a confirmed Area 51 project. Lockheed worked with the CIA to develop a plane that could fly at a high altitude and spy on other nations. The U-2 could fly at altitudes of 70,000 feet and was effective in reconnaissance missions for several years. During the development of the U-2, the CIA and Lockheed realized they would soon need more advanced aircraft because the Soviet Union's missile technology was rapidly catching up. In 1960, the USSR shot down a U-2, confirming this concern. Engineers designed a plane called the Suntan to be a successor to the U-2. It could fly at speeds up to Mach 2.5, almost 2,000 miles per hour. The Suntan used liquid hydrogen for fuel, which was its ultimate downfall. Engineers decided that it would be too expensive to create a fuel infrastructure to support the Suntan's flights, and the government cancelled the project. The A-12, which was later known as the State Route 71 Blackbird, became the actual successor to the U-2. The A-12 was a prototype model that gradually evolved into the State Route 71. These planes could fly up to Mach 3, 2,300 miles per hour, and could fly at altitudes of 90,000 feet. Tacit Blue and Have Blue were the first successful attempts at creating stealth aircraft. Tacit Blue had an odd, whale-like shape, inspiring onlookers to call it Shamu. It was designed to fly low over battle operations as a reconnaissance vehicle. Have Blue was a prototype for the F-117A stealth fighter. Have Blue first arrived at Area 51 in 1977. The stealth fighter remained a secret until the Air Force officially unveiled it to the public in 1990. The bird of prey takes its name from a class of ships in Star Trek. The plane is a bomber with stealth technology. The design looks very strange, and some say that it is very unstable at low speeds due to the odd wing design. One rumored project at Area 51, the TR-3A Black Manta, could be a potential successor to the stealth fighter, or it may be one of many kinds of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Currently, there is a lot of interest in UAVs because they provide the military with methods of gathering information without endangering the lives of pilots or soldiers. Area 51 projects. The Aurora is another project that has been associated with Area 51. Now believed to be a cancelled project, the Aurora was supposedly a replacement for the State Route 71. It was supposed to be a hypersonic reconnaissance jet capable of attaining speeds up to Mach 6, 4,600 miles per hour. The project may have failed completely, or it may turn out that the Aurora is another kind of UAV and not a jet at all. The Brilliant Buzzard or Mothership is another rumored project at Area 51. This large jet would carry a smaller vehicle, perhaps a UAV. The smaller vehicle is designed to launch from the larger jet while in midair. Soviet aircraft also played a large role at Area 51. These planes came from the Soviet Union and were either captured or otherwise acquired. The Air Force and CIA used these aircraft in training exercises and war games. The use of Soviet aircraft in Area 51's airspace inspired its nickname of the Red Square. What new projects could be underway at Area 51 today? Apart from the continued focus on UAV technology, secret project theorists suggest a few possibilities. One is a transport aircraft with stealth technology designed to move troops in and out of conflict areas without being detected. Many see a need for a vehicle with effective and stealthy vertical takeoff and lift (VTOL) capabilities. The V-22 Osprey has this capability, but critics say the vehicle is not effective at meeting military objectives. Another likely research project is a stealth helicopter. Though some people say stealth helicopters already exist and are in use, they haven't been revealed to the public. Some theorists see a need for a stealth plane that is designed specifically to neutralize ground targets. To date, most stealth aircraft are either surveillance vehicles or designed for air-to-air combat. There is also a need for aircraft that can rapidly deploy to any location worldwide in as short a time as possible. Projects like the rumored Aurora plane and other hypersonic vehicles fall into this category. Other rumored research projects range from cloaking technology to proton beams to anti-gravity devices. Of course, these projects are only the tip of the rumored iceberg. Area 51 is arguably better known for its connection with aliens and UFOs than with any of these aircraft. In the next section, we'll take a look at the rumors and theories linking Area 51 with visitors from outer space.